All right, real fast. I just saw apparently Battle Angel Alita is not. It doesn't. It's you just don't know what's going on. It doesn't make sense. So one of the things that really is hitting me is I'm like, okay, one, it could be so far from what I'm hearing, it could be that it is like the source material. This is my first the big theory. It is like the source material, and the issue is it's an anime. It's an anime, and it's not meant to be made into live action. It just isn't. Two, and I have a big contention that this one that's my one, that there's an issue with that one. Hollywood people who say they're fans of things and making it a fucking live action. And then two, or it is that it just was one of these many things made to be a sequel. It was made to be a sequel, shot to be 3 or 4 movies. And a girl power, the new big girl power image. Like, nobody knows this story was already written. This is one of these things of like girls who know about Alita, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm so geek. I'm a geek girl. Oh, I watched a Battle Angel Alita when I was 10." And blah blah blah, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm so fucking cool. I was so into this." I of course have, like something like 10 issues of the manga, like, so I'm like, "Oh, I know." I forget. Yeah, I don't even remember what the issue is when she actually gets to the floating city. But I mean, that I get to that. I have the floating city part. I have her fighting her way up the chain, and there's this thing that comes down the chain and knocks you off the chains that chain the city to the earth. And yeah. Dang, I got it. Okay. I should take a look again. So this is once again one of these things where I want to get into a lot of these comic book movies and anime movies and all that shit. It's all made for dorks. It is not made for nerds. If these people were nerds and they had brains instead of hair and sand between their ears, all of this would have gone to stuff like Netflix or some type of independent, one of the many platforms that now is paying out to make series, to make a series of things. Now, of course, the problem here is all of this is done wrong. All of this is wrong. Animation should stay animation. Manga can be made into animation. It can be made into anime. And that's what you do. And you don't make a live action. That's usually a very bad idea. There's very few hits on this where you can go back and say, that is amazing how they made a live action of this. What this is nobody can make a Star Wars. Nobody can write a Star Wars. And now there's a thing called video games that there's all kinds of fascinating storylines and lore in these video games. But oh no, we've got to fill these goofy ass fucking theaters. We're insisting that the future is in filling these fucking theaters that don't get fucking filled with the big sci-fi fans, because you know what sci-fi fans like. You know what real nerds are. They're guys who take their hot girlfriends, their hot geek girlfriends with all their tattoos and piercings, and oh, I dyed my hair just because I'm such a fangirl. Give me a fucking break. Oh my god, stop it. It's just, like, I know in Anaheim and maybe in Pomona or something, or in Rancho Cucamonga or something, there is a scene like this. There's all these like hot Bettys, with their, oh, I dress like a member of Star Trek. I had a Star Trek outfit, but I'm like a bad Star Trek girl because I have tattoos. Bad Star Trek. You know, am I evil or am I good? You know, and and then, you know, and some guy, it's like, I'm like a fucking, I'm like Spock if he was a member of the Sonics, you know. Um, I, it just, there's this part of me that I got to see nerddom. I got to see when Voltron and all this shit was put into English and put on American, that you know, you could tell people didn't know. They're like, I don't know, there's some cartoon from Japan, whatever. Hanna-Barbera fucking blew dick. It was the shit. It was crap, mega garbage, fill your diaper. They had some little thing they did on Saturday trying to sell some toys. These Exoskeleton, I think Exo Squad, and they had the Visionaries, and they had like a few other series, like these robot, really awful robot things. Nobody could beat the Transformers, but the Transformers couldn't get real high quality animation. It just simply didn't exist in America. There was just nobody who could look at fucking Japan and do it. And attempts at it sometimes were just abysmal, and the way they would have to try to pump out the animation, it was just sad. Growing up, it was just fucking sad. My dad and I would go to all the animation festivals. So I saw Spike and Mike's come into existence. I saw the Sick and Twisted. I remember the first Sick and Twisted, and people walking their kids out, and oh my God! And it said, "What, did you not see?" Okay, you know, next year we really got to warn these people, but they were unapologetic about it. See, in those days they did not apologize. It was on the sign. So when I see all this, these, oh, we're geeks. Oh, the geek culture. No, it's called science fiction, and most people don't. They have not seen science fiction. Most of these science fiction fans who are in their mid-30s and younger are not familiar with the field, with it. They're not nerds. They did not read the shit, and they did not see movies before people based movies on books. There's that one Harrison Ford where he's the cop on the space station. I forget. Like, that's one where he's like using a pump shotgun in space. There's all these THX 11. What was it? That, god dang, that's so long ago. Rollerball. Like, most of these people are not fucking familiar, and nerds are. Real nerds are familiar, and a lot of this is this new geek girl culture. And it's like the chicks aren't into it. If they're into it, they're into it. If they're not, you can't sell it to them by putting some makeup artist from YouTube looking chick. Like, look, I'm badass and I'm in space. You know, it's fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb. And then these nobody's writing the shit. And the worst part about it is that none of these movie companies are, like, I don't know, lunching with the people from the video game sector. They do all know each other at varying levels. But somehow these people never wrap their heads around something that exists that they could exploit forever. Like, how Transformers isn't this explosive, constant, like, animation, video games, new Transformers all the time, or bringing back old ones. How G.I. Joe has not come back, I no clue. Just, this is one that I'm like, this is a platinum mine. But then I realized, I'm like, no, these aren't real nerds. These people don't get it. They don't get fun. They don't understand what's fun. Nobody's yeah, they don't get fun. And that'll be it. That'll be the and when at some point it'll be a group of real nerd girls who, you know, there'll be like, you know, for every one nerd girl there will be like 4 guys on the team, and there will be real nerds will come up with that character and that storyline, and they'll crush it for a decade. They'll have this platinum mine for a fucking decade as real nerds realize, like, oh, this is what good science fiction is like. You don't need these weird, kooky, oh, what are my genitals for? I don't understand, you know, and they don't need these deep feels. That it's good story is good story. The arc is the arc. I like how, especially with video games, the gamers get it most importantly. It can't work without the arc. It has to be a totally, like, it can't make sense as a game. There has to be some element of it that you just sort of play on forever and it just stops. Or it has a story arc and it comes to a conclusion. And it just doesn't work otherwise. Otherwise, people don't play the game. It gets a fan. It comes and goes, and that people don't. It stays on a shelf someplace when you try to resell it. The video game world gets this because the money is still talking. There's still cash money involved. People are keeping open little stores that resell games. There's a place in my town that all they do mostly is resell. And you ask about certain games, they try, but the minute it comes in, it's gone. That's it. And so I've had to think about all this, that when they try to, it's the Chuck Johnson rule. They keep trying to push some fucking bullshit, and they lose. Like Marvel Girls, now this is up to, where they said, oh, it could be $180 grillion, and they're like, oh, or it could be $80 million, you know, 80 billion. Oh, you know, and that means, oh my God, you lost, you didn't even cover the marketing budget. Oh, come on. And I love Cyberpunk 2077. What's their marketing budget? If anybody has, you know, just, you got them on Twitter, you talk to them, just bring it up as a ha 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 moment. What's that marketing budget? Hey, Pondsmith, how much do you have to advertise Cyberpunk? Man, all those, when, you get on Amazon, they're always trying to sell you Cyberpunk books. Oh my God, dude. I mean, I bet people call Pondsmith all the time, begging him, can we please reprint the Cyberpunk Netrunner card game? I don't know if it's actually in reprint. All I know is the one I got was an original used. Thanks, AJ, if you ever see this. It's still the story arc. It goes all the way back to ancient Greece and the ancient Bible. The arc of the story. That's why the Matrix worked. But oh, what did they do? They tried to do gay ops fighting, and it fucked it up. And they tried to do, the feels. It's a time for the sex rave. And then we'll fight the machines. And it's just like, oh, okay, now you guys made it gay. And so. It's just got to be a good fucking story. That's all it's got to be. I don't understand how people aren't getting the mech story, like warfare world thing. That's why I'm so glad Jakub Rosalski and Iron Harvest. I'm gonna get a new computer pretty soon that runs on Windows, and I want to have Fallout 4 super dope modded and possibly Iron Harvest, but I gotta make sure I don't fuck this machine up first. And I just gotta say, it's like, those are for me, when I look and I'm like looking for what is the edge of the line sci-fi, that's where I keep finding it. Fallout 4 mods and the way that people construct their worlds. That's becoming absolutely fascinating to me. And I'm like, wait. There's something more to this. There's a next level to this. I'm just not thinking of it. Oh my God, if that Star Wars game, that city that was underground, that was a platinum mine. A fucking platinum mine. gone up in fucking smoke. What's another? The Eve Dust. I think they're working on something, but that had a lot of potential. Planetary warfare interaction. Oh, I feel vapors. Oh my God, the dreams of us that you could attack people's, ice mines on some moon from orbit, and then you can go down into the helmet of some fighter on the ground directing combat and stuff. I mean, like, what? I was like, are you kidding? And and I was like, how are you guys gonna even pull this off? And so it had its problems. It had its problems, but the idea was there, and like that, you guys got it. You guys are getting it. That's what's up. And so I that's why I always frequently you'll see I post mecha images on the thumbnails often. And it's because I'm always looking up mecha art, mecha combat games, stuff like that, because I'm like, no, somebody's gonna get this. Somebody's going to get like the mecha thing, the exoskeleton game, the transforming vehicle that's around its user. Somebody's gonna get it, and that fucking game is original YouTube series or cartoon or whatever, that they're gonna dominate. And once it happens, but nobody is making that step to be the next Star Wars. That they just their story is just fucking solid, and they keep a tight conservative concept of the sets of stories. I don't know. It's because when I think of Ghost in the Shell and what an amazing franchise that's been, so much of it deviated from the manga and became its own thing in the animation. It's cop story kind of thing. It's spy story that you had to know from one season to another. It was so adult. And that I would watch it with people and they couldn't follow it because it was so complicated of a storyline. Stuff like that is just priceless, and it is really showing that American sci-fi and American writing of popular and widespread science fiction, its complexity and the richness of its world that in the creator is just not as good as it used to be. But also, I need people to put me on to what they think I should check out, because I have long gotten behind a lot of the dope like especially in writing, the really good shit in sci-fi writing. I especially like things along the kind of cyberpunk lines, but that's the thing. You got to be surprised. Oh, another one that was an amazing series of comics that its art was something else. Red Star. I think it came out from Dark Horse. I only have like 2 of them. These things were beautiful. They're gigantic. They're these fucking gigantic. I'm like, why did you make this so big? I thought it was right here. But it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful artwork. And the way they mixed cyber warfare and like magic, and then Eastern European history and stuff was just beautiful. Just amazing. Yeah, Humanoid Publishing, that's it. I have the White Llama, which is also, I think, done by the same people or something. But yeah. All right, just some thoughts. God, I'm such a nerd. All right, later.